Like where it leads me. But like any story, the past needs resolution. What's past is prologue. Maybe 2%.
Welcome back to the Pony Car edition of Speed's highlighted coverage of the 2010 Barrett-Jackson auctions. We're at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca with Parnelly Jones, who won the season opener in Trans Am and went on, he and George Fulmer, to win the season 4-4s. Lime Rock was the race right after Laguna Seca. That's Sam Posey's home track. He had the Challenger. You were there in the Ford Mustang, and everybody thought you won the pole, but they started you third. What happened?
Well, I don't think they caught my time or whatever. The caution didn't sort of show me up being third, I guess.
Well, and you promised you were going to lead that race coming out of Big Bend. How'd you do it?
I did. Well, I just got a head start on the first corner and was long gone.
You dove right underneath everybody. I don't think they'd ever seen anybody go 3 wide in Big Bend before.
Well, I don't know. I was pretty aggressive, but just didn't know how to finish.
Well, usually you finished well, certainly well enough to win the series. But, you know, with all that at stake, the race has only paid $3,500 to win, a not insignificant sum. Pretty insignificant compared to what these cars are selling for. But so much was at stake with the factories that tensions really had to flare up.
Well, there was a lot of pressure on the drivers. You know, when it boiled down to trying to support your sponsor and they're swearing they're going to win the race, and that's the reason they're all participating on Sunday and so they could sell on Monday.
Well, one of the greatest things to come out of the Trans Am series was that every manufacturer had to build so many replicas of their Trans Am racers for the street. Let's watch another one sell. Right now, we're all watching a 1970 Dodge Challenger TA two-door hardtop. I think a Dodge Dart with Bob Tullius aboard was one of the first Trans Am winners back in 1966. Dodge jumped in with Bodie in 1970, and the TA was the Trans Am tribute car they built for the street so that Sam Posey and Tony Adamowicz could race one in the series.
You know, a big detail in 1970, of course, was the SCCA relaxing the 5-liter limit on Trans Am legal cars. So that meant you could put a 340 in your Barracuda or your Trans Am Challenger, and of course the 350 in the Z28 arrived. But of course, if you wanted to go racing, you did have to de-stroke that motor down to 5 liters.
Which I believe Chevy did in 1970 as well. We should point out there is also a Dodge Challenger RT registry, and as of this point, this car, I believe, was the 1158th car to be registered into that registry. So there's just barely more than 1,000 of those in the registry. How many are actually floating around is another question.
What you will see is on the rear quarter panel the antenna for the radio, and in fact on E-body Challengers, that's the only time you'll see it is when they have an AAR or a TA. That's because the fiberglass hood was not effective at canceling or restricting the RFI from the ignition and it affected the radio. By putting the antenna on the back, problem was solved.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Posey and Tony Adamowicz are both looking in. $70,000.